It's important to respect money. And I think, I mean, a lot of people talk about my work in terms of money, and I think a lot of criticisms say that it's only about money. And I think, I mean, I'm aware of that, and I have to, I always have to make sure that the art is the most important thing and the money comes secondary. You have to use the money as a sort of key. You think, I'm going to get more people's attention if it sells for more money.
What about the fact that that's how some people place value on a piece of art?
Well, people use money to place value on everything, it's like, but, I mean, I always think there are no pockets in a shroud, and it's like, no matter how much money you've got, you can always be remembered for the size and ornateness of your headstone, but, at the end of the day, nobody's taken any with us, so you've got to take it with a pinch of salt.
But in terms of the kind of work that you produce, do you still go for shock value?
I mean, I don't know if shock's the right word. I mean, I've always wanted to get people's attention, and I want to get people's attention whether they want to give it or not, and I think that's a good thing. But I think, I've always been aware that you have to make art that stands the test of time too,
And how do you continue to compete with yourself?
I mean, I love art, it's like, so you just, I mean, I've got 3 kids, I've got a 6-year-old who...
What do they think of your work?
I mean, they like it. I mean, my 6-year-old yesterday said, I want to come back to the Tate. And I'm like, wow, you love my work. And he actually really loves the butterflies.
That's so cute.
Yeah, but he said to me the other day, I'm a better artist than you. And I was like, yeah, you are. It's, in a way you have to try and, it's another criticism, isn't it? People say your work's childish or childlike. But I think both those things are great. I think I'd take that as a compliment if somebody said my work was childish or childlike.
And in terms of the kind of work that you want to do that you haven't yet been able to produce, is there a style that you would like to embark on?
I'm always doing sort of crazy things and exciting things, and mad things. It's a bit like being a scientist, but a lot goes on in the studio. I mean, I'm working on a spot painting with 1 million spots on it, and I'm working on some paintings with bugs, and I'm working on some sort of decorative paintings using scalpel blades, which are sort of nasty, but whether they're, that's all what goes on in the studio, and it's like everything that I make doesn't come out of the studio. I mean, the studio is where you make mistakes, so I'm having a lot of fun in the studio, and I always have.
Well, when you started, was it a different way of thinking?
And a lot of the things that I started early on, they sort of don't make sense to me as a person now, because I've changed, but, you're changing perceptibly, so it's, it's difficult to see that. I mean, the first room you go in the Tate show, I still find it kind of awkward and a bit embarrassing, because I just think, my God, what, the painted pans looks very car boot sale,
Is there a piece of work that you're most proud of?
The diamond skull is a special favourite. The shark, the fly piece, 1,000 Years. They're the ones that, the most successful for me. It's but then, but as an artist, you kind of always like your new work, Yeah. But then I don't want to end up like David Bowie singing all my own songs at the concert and boring the audience senseless. It's a fear for all artists, isn't it? David Bowie included, that you are. That you love your new work, but, the punters don't. People love you. They say, I love your work. Have you got any left, the old work?
What do you want people to get out of your mid-career retrospective?
Well, I mean, I hope more people like it than don't like it. I mean, and a reaction that I always like is people walking and go, wow, even if they're, whatever they're looking at, I think, wow is a great reaction.
Does it matter to you if it doesn't? If it doesn't, people don't respond?
I mean, I would hope that, even, whether they like it or don't like it, I hope they're still thinking about it the next day when they wake up.